Jonathan, it's been really interesting kind of observing Microsoft research over the decades. I've, been watching you guys in my prior academic career. You are always on the front of innovation, particularly in healthcare. And I find it fascinating that, millions of people are using the solutions that, your team has developed over the years. And yet you still find ways to stay cutting edge and state of the art, even in this accelerating time of technology and AI particularly. How do you do that?
I mean, at some level, it's in our DNA. I mean, we've been publishing in health and life sciences for 2 decades here. But when we launched Health Futures as a mission-focused lab about 7 or 8 years ago, we really started with the premise that the way to have impact was to really close the loop between not just good ideas that get published, but good ideas that can actually be grounded in real problems that clinicians and scientists care about, that then allow us to actually go from that first proof of concept into an incubation, into getting real-world feedback that allows us to close that loop. And now with the HLS organization here as a product group, we have the opportunity to work really closely with you all to not just prove what's possible in the clinic or in the lab, but actually start scaling that into the broader community.
And one thing I'll add here is that the problems that we're trying to tackle in healthcare are extremely complex. And so as Jonathan said, it's really important that we come together and collaborate across the disciplines, as well as across the company of Microsoft, and with our external collaborators as well across the whole industry.
So Matt, back to you though. What are you guys doing in the product group? How do you guys see these models getting into the clinic?
I think a lot of people, think about AI is just, maybe just even a few years old because of GPT and how that really captured the public's consciousness, right? And think about the speech-to-text technology of being able to dictate something for a clinic note or for a visit. That was typically based on nuanced technology. And so there's a lot of product understanding of the market, how to deliver something that clinicians will use, understanding the pain points and workflows, and really that health IT space, which is sometimes the third rail, I feel like, with a lot of innovation in healthcare. But beyond that, I think now that we have this really powerful engine of Microsoft and the platform capabilities, we're seeing innovations on the healthcare side for data storage, data interoperability with different types of medical data. You have new applications coming online, the ability, of course, to see generative AI now infused into the speech-to-text and becoming Dragon Copilot, which is something that has been, tremendously received by the community. Physicians are able to now just have a conversation with a patient. They turn to their computer and the note is ready for them. There's no more of this, we call it keyboard liberation. I don't know if you've heard that before. And that's just been tremendous. And there's so much more coming from that side. And then there's other parts of the workflow that we also get engaged in, the diagnostic workflow. So medical imaging, sharing images across different hospital systems, the list goes on. And so now when you move into AI, we feel like there's this huge opportunity to deliver capabilities into the clinical workflow via the products and solutions we already have. But Will, now that we've kind of expanded our team to involve Azure and platform, we're really able to now focus on the developers.
Yeah, and you're always telling me as a doctor how frustrating it is to be spending time at the computer instead of with your patients. I think you told me, 4,000 clicks a day for the typical doctor, which is tremendous. And something like Dragon Copilot can save that 5 minutes per patient, but it can also now take actions after the patient encounter. So it can draft the after visit summary, it can order labs and medications, the referral. And that's incredible. And we want to keep building on that. There's so many other use cases across the ecosystem. And so that's why in Azure AI Foundry, we have translated a lot of the research from Microsoft Research and made that available to developers to build and customize for their own applications.
Yeah, and as Will was saying, in our transformation of moving from solutions to platforms and as scaling solutions to other multiple scenarios, as we put our models in AI Foundry, we provide this developer capabilities like bring your own data and fine-tune these models and then apply it to scenarios that we couldn't even imagine. So that's kind of the platform play we are scaling now.